Best wishes from the SAARC Agriculture Centre. This discussion forum is an activity under the knowledge management component of the C-SUCSeS project, where IFPRI has created a common platform for scientists and professionals of the SAARC member states to discuss the CSA technologies and share the experiences of each and everyone present on this forum. You all know that knowledge management is a key component of the project, and whatever knowledge generated through the implementation of the project activities will be shared on a common platform accessible to all SAARC member countries. It is my pleasure to inform you that SAARC Agriculture Centre launched C-SUCSeS project website on 8 December 2022, and considering this is the SAARC Charter Day, and we celebrate here in Dhaka. This platform will be extensively used for sharing knowledge and information about the project. We are in the process of creating a network of community of practice on CSA, where policymakers, researchers, extensionists, entrepreneurs, farmers, organizations, donors, and other stakeholders will be the members of it. We'll strive hard to make a vibrant and effective CSA network in the region for the dissemination of knowledge and technology. And this is a kind of first discussion forum where a series of similar kinds of discussion will be organized jointly by SAARC Agriculture Centre and IFPRI during the course of the implementation of the project. This event will enhance cooperation among scientists and professionals in the region and increase people-to-people contact, which will eventually contribute to improving rural livelihoods and strengthening regional cooperation. This time, discussion focus on CSA technology, its adoption, barriers, and the way forward in Bangladesh. Experiences of Bangladesh will be shared and discussed in this forum. However, in the next discussion forum, we'll focus on CSA of other member states. And I would like to introduce our today's presenter, Dr. Mohammad Ayub Hussain, Chief Scientific Officer of Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute, will cover all aspects of CSA technologies and its barriers to adoption and the way forward for scaling up. So I would like to invite Dr. Ayub for the presentation, and after completing the presentation, we'll open the floor for discussion. Dr. Ayub, please.
Sorry.
It was fine.
We were able to see your screen, Dr. Ayub.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammad Bakhtiar Hussain, for introducing me. Honorable session moderator, Dr. Mohammad Bakhtiar Hussain, Director, SAARC Agriculture Centre, and he is also the member director of Natural Resource Management, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Council, Honorable National Focal Point and Associate Scientist from the SAARC countries, and related scientists or personnel to C-SUCSeS project, distinguished officials from the IFPRI, and Dr. Mohammad Mazharul Anwar, Chief Scientific Officer, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, and his research team, all the respected participants, my colleague and fellow scientists, very good morning and welcome to all to my presentation. And the title of my presentation of Climate Smart Agriculture Technology for sustainable crop production in Bangladesh, adoption, barrier, and way forward. The research, the team is along with Taslima Jahan, Apurbo Chaki, Mohammad Farooq Hossain, and Mohammad Mazharul Anwar. All of them are from Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, Gazipur, Bangladesh. Outline of my presentation: brief scenario of Bangladesh agriculture, climate change in Bangladesh, impact of climate change, status of CS technology, adoption of CSA technologies, barrier in adoption, and also way forward. Now, Bangladesh is a small country in the world map, but very high density populated country. 165 million people of the country, and cropping intensity is here very high. We are practicing in Bangladesh very intensive agriculture. That is, we are practicing single crop area, double crop, triple crop, four crop, and also sometimes mixed crop, etc. So we are very practicing very intensive agriculture nowadays to feed our huge population. Now, land under different crops are like this. 70% of land of Bangladesh is under agriculture, and among the some permanent meadows, permanent crops, forest area is only 11%, very low. Other area, marshy land, etc. And our country is divided into 30 agroecological zone, popularly known as AZ, and 88 agroecological sub-region and 535 agroecological unit based on the topography, flooding, and soil type. Rice is our main crop and occupied about 76% cultivated area of the country. And then the wheat, maize, potato, we are self-sufficient in rice production, and also potato is little bit overproduction in our country. And other crops are like this. Now, the emerging challenge in agriculture we are now facing nowadays. Number one is ever increasing population. This is number one problem in our country. The population of Bangladesh is around 65 million, which represent 2.1% of the world's total population. Our population is very highly density, 1,140 person per kilometer, and 1% in every 46 people of the planet is the resident of Bangladesh. And another problem is cropland losses, or cultivated loss every year. We are losing about 8,000 hectares of land per year for urbanization, human settlement, and infrastructure, and also the erosion of rivers. And river erosion is another challenge. Bangladesh lost about 2,000 hectares of land. River erosion displaces 64,000 people every year, and threatens the food security. And those who displace it, they need more land for their building their house or settlement, and other is infrastructure. So this is the threatened to the agriculture land. This is depletion of soil fertility. This is another problem. We are growing more and more foods, 2 or 3 or 4 times crop in a year, but the farmers leave nothing in the field. There is no crop residue in the field. They collected the crop residue and they use for cattle feed and its fuel, etc. And about 11.07 million hectares of land, which represents 70% is suffered soil moisture, soil nutrient depletion in Bangladesh. So this is one of the challenges of our agriculture. And another challenge is depletion of groundwater table. We are, especially in the drought area, that is our northern area, extraction rate of groundwater is greater than, higher than the resource capacity. And you can see in the figure that up to 2090, we found that discharge and research, discharge and research, it is minimized, but after 2019, there is no recharge of the oil, there's groundwater, it is depleting continuously. So this is a threat for production of water-loving crop, especially boro rice. Now the impact of climate change. Summer are becoming hotter, that is higher temperature, even in winter. Now it is the second week of December, but the people do not, mostly myself, still now I am not wearing any warm cloth. This is the scenario of winter now. This is summer and both winter are becoming hotter. And this hampers the crop production, especially cool-like crop as wheat. Monsoon irregular with untimely rainfall, heavy rainfall over short period causing waterlogging and flood, crop damage due to flash flood, very little rainfall in dry period. In this season, during the almond rice planting time, there was no rain. So the people faced problem for transplanting of almond rice. Crop due to drought, it is in the, especially in dry region, salinity intrusion along the coastal region, it is increasing day by day. So there are six, what the government identified, government of Bangladesh identified 6 hotspots for crop production, which is called unfavorable ecosystem, which represents 60% of our cultivated land. This is salinity is 1.06 million hectare, drought 3.5 million hectare, waterlogged 2.6 million hectare, shoreline is another 0.82 million hectare, Haur is standing water, 6 months standing water and 6 months dry average. So it is also represent 8.86 million hectare, hill 1.81 million hectare. This is the unfavorable ecosystem we have to face. Now the climate scenario of Bangladesh, our temperature is increasing here, see in the graph, temperature increasing, and in the below graph you can also see the 2030, 2050 and 70 temperature, average temperature 1.2, 1.7 or 2.1 degrees centigrade will increase. So what happened then if we do not take proper measure? So we have to face problem. And also the case of precipitation scenario. And the geographical location is Bangladesh, is our in southern south side is situated Bay of Bengal. So the land is situated like a funnel. So we have to attack different. We have to face different type of disaster like cyclone, flash flood, etc. And our main sea level is only 9 meters, very low lying area we are residing in Bangladesh. So we can say in Cambodia, the mean sea level is 126 meters. So how much higher than Bangladesh? So we have to face different type of disaster. And during 2000 to 2019, within 19 years, we have Bangladesh faced 185 extreme weather events and suffered economic loss about $3.70 billion. So we are facing Isla, Sido, such type of cyclone each and every year. And also the greenhouse emission is also increasing. And so major contributor of greenhouse emission is agriculture. That is 39% green emission from agricultural land, especially marshy land. And in case of agriculture, 50% greenhouse comes from crop sector and 50% from livestock sector. Among them, 33% comes from the rice cultivation. So this is the alarming situation in our rice production and food security. Sea level rising also increasing, and we are also affected by saline intrusion. In 1973, there was 18.3 mega hectare of land under salinity. Now it is 2,102 mega hectare, and in 2009 it was 10.56 or 105.6 mega hectare of land. So this is alarming for us for this climate change and is of crop production, especially agriculture. Now the challenge of agriculture. So our population is increasing, ever increasing, and we have to feed the population. So to balance the growing food demand with domestic production, which is unlikely to be as smooth as in past. So we have to feed the people with this limited decreasing trend of land. We have to feed the more people, and also ensure the safe and nutrition food we have to produce and consume our people. To ensure higher agriculture sector contribution, our GDP in agriculture is decreasing day by day. So we have to increase to contribute the GDP. Our production should be increased. So we have to work more in this sector. Where enhance natural resource sustainability like soil, water, and biodiversity. This is another important things to mitigate the climate change, or to consider to retain the conservation of soil, that is soil health, etc. So we have to look at these things to mitigate the challenge of various biotic abiotic stress. This is also another thing we have to facing this day. And our GDP is lagging behind compared to other sectors. And to address this, we have to address the mechanized and digital technologies in crop production. So this is the challenge for us. Strategic for agriculture, food and nutrient security, increasing resilience in agriculture and food production. Diversification in agriculture, we have to diversify different types of different climatic conditions. Lower emissions from agricultural land, we have reduced the emission from the agricultural land. We are contributing more from the agricultural land countries' greenhouse gases. Encourage establish commercial farms. Our emphasis, the government has given emphasis to convert our subsistence agriculture to commercial agriculture for more production. Using nanotechnology agriculture into the precision agriculture. This is very important nowadays to minimize the input in agriculture, input like pesticide, fertilizer. We have to can use many nano fertilizer, nano pesticide. Encouraging solar for irrigation, that not only solar renewable energy in agriculture, and that is the strategies of food and nutrition security. Scope to increase the crop productivity, we can with the increased cropping intensity. So our cropping intensity on 90 and 98. So we have a scope to increase the cropping intensity to produce more food for our people. double, triple, and 4 crop area can be increased. And Bangladesh Irrigation Research Institute and also National Irrigation Research Team, they are working to increase the cropping intensity. Unfavorable ecosystem like Haur, coastal shoreland, and this can be, we can also increase the crop addressing this unfavorable ecosystem with providing with proper technology, appropriate technology. Fallow land, we have some fallow land that is in southern region, some land remain fallow after harvesting of one single crop, almond rice. This land can be utilized. Diverse farming like vertical farming, rooftop gardening, hydroponic, floating irrigation sector. We are also working in this umbrella, multiple cropping also. Now, what is CSA? You know better than me, but I want to inform you that sustainability increase the productive income. Though this production system should be sustained, not for a certain period, not a short period, not on season. This production should be sustained for year after year. Strengthens resilience to climate change and environment. We are facing climate change impact. So we have to develop technology, climate resilience technology, and reduce agriculture contribution to the climate change. We have to reduce greenhouse gas and other things to reduce the climate change. So this is the, in brief, the CSA, climate smart agriculture. And resilience is a very common and popular term. This may be defined as the capacity to face uncertainty, the risk of shocks, and to withstand, respond efficiently, and recover and adapt in the sustainable manner. So we have to address this. So we should work together. We have to work together to address this CSA technology, to develop, to disseminate this CSA technology. Now I am presenting some slides on existing CSA technology practicing in Bangladesh. Now I want to present a slide, some technology we are practicing traditionally in farms level. Many of this technology are practiced by farms traditionally year after year in Bangladesh to withstand the climate stress. The shrimp farming, that is traditional gear farming, it is practiced in northern south area in Bangladesh, especially Khulna Shatkheri area. This is traditionally practicing year after year. Vegetable production on the raised dikes. This is a very popular technology in this area, in gear farming area. They are producing a lot of vegetables in these raised dikes. Floating agriculture, very popular, and Bari and other organizations are working on floating agriculture, vegetable and seedling production. It was practiced year after year by the farmers. Southern agriculture, combination of vegetables, fruit, and agriculture. Tiny pond at the corner of a crop field for irrigation. This is also practiced in Southern Asia for use rainwater harvesting, and this fresh water is used for irrigation of the crop field. Fish culture in the rice field, zero tillage potato, zero tillage garlic planting, especially in Cholonville area, they are practicing. Relay mustard, grass-bedded lentil, etc. This is practiced in many areas of Bangladesh. Agroforestry in northern area, they are practicing for the long time. Duck farming in the Haur area. These are technologies already farmers are practicing from long since. Now, conservation agriculture, a CSA technology, zero tillage, relaying of lentil at 10 days before harvesting a tea amount. Rice keeping 2 centimeter store. This is very popular and very farmers are using this technology for lentil planting. Strip tillage is a conservation technology. It conserves moisture in the soil. It covers the soil with mulch. So the crop increase the crop yield also, and also reduce the cost 50 to 60% of the crop cost is increased. This is single pass stripless system. You can see in the figure below, in the photo or image in the mouse, they are operating, and the farmers are operating the machine, and simultaneously it is tilling only the strip and planting the record crop. And this practice reduce 220 kilogram of carbon dioxide per hectare of land. This is very climate smart technology. Barry bed planter, this is another technology. And this is bed tilling, bed formation, sitting on the bed and covering the seeds in a single pass. It also increased the yield, increased turnaround, and it also saved the irrigation water due to the canal. It also reduced carbon emission 44% than the traditional practice or tillage system. And this is technologies, monsoon regenerative technology can be in raised bed crop or pulse farming, and water can be drained out easily from through the furrow. So Barry solar pump is another technology. It is very small scale pump, 100 to 2000 watt peak of panel is required for operation of the pump, and discharge is 180. It is completely eco-friendly. There is no carbon emission from this pump. So this is climate smarter technology, and farmers are right. About 50 farmers are around the country. They are practicing using this pump. And some picture, this solar panel can be used multiple use. A farmer can place the panel on his rooftop, and he can use this panel for crop production as well as drinking water, livestock rearing. Also is for homestead, that is solar home system, fan operation of fan, light, etc. This is a very good technology regarding the climate smart technology. Very axial flow pump. This is also low head water lifting device. It serves 30% fuel compared to the low lift pump or a diesel operated or low lift pump, that is centrifugal pump. So it reduces the carbon emission also. And this pump is using in the southern region of Bangladesh. And this can be used for irrigation, drainage, and also fish culture. Cultivation of Galti under zero tillage with mouse. So very opportunity also give higher yields and conserve the moisture in the soil and reduce the cultivation cost. Consent use of saline and fresh water for crop cultivation in the saline area. Now we know that there is want of fresh water in the saline area. So if we irrigate the first stage of the crop with fresh water from the pond or other sources, and medium and final stage can irrigate with saline water, then the crop only the 5 to 6 yield can be reduced, but the cost there is the saline water can be utilized for crop production. This is a good technology. Alternate furrow technology for row crops. This is a technology. This is not especially used for maybe alternative for normal furrow irrigation. This can be used in the dry pond area for production of crop without sacrificing the yield. First stage, first time irrigation on furrow, and next on the dryers are next on the irrigator, the alternate furrow, and this way 35 to 40% water can be saved and without sacrificing the yield of the crop. So this technology can be in the dry pond area, especially in a Rajshahi region. Cultivation of high value crops through fertigation. Fertigation is a method mixed fertilizer with potash fertilizer or nitrogen fertilizer with irrigation water with a drip system. It saves 50 to 50% nitrogen and 35 to 40% potash fertilizer, and also save about 50% irrigation water. And also it produces higher yield, about 30% higher yield. So this is a good technology. Spring irrigation, we know the water saving technology. It also increases yield as well as save the water. The water requirement irrigation crops in dry area, we can cultivate water requirement crop like chickpea, lentil, mustard. So it can be irrigated. Some of the only one irrigation is required. Sometimes no irrigation. We can crop without irrigation. We can grow this crop in the dry pond area. Maize legume strip for higher yield in resource conservation. So maize legume strip cropping will produce higher yield as well as maintain soil health. So we have this is a dual purpose. It gives a higher yield and also maintain the soil health. Effective spacing fertilizer under transplant the sunflower under zero tillage. It also conserves moisture. It also the higher early planting of sunflower. So in the moist soil, we can transplant the sunflower seedling. So it also saves from the late storm list for damage of the sunflower crop. So this is a good technology. Nutrient management of bitter gourd on floating bed trails. So this is floating bed is very popular technology now, becoming more and more popular in the southern region, and also in the Howrah area. Also, this technology is spreading, and the Sylhet, nursing, etc. This area. So this is a good technology to grow crop in unfavorable ecosystem in standing water without soil. Sorghum-based integrated farming system increasing agricultural productivity. Sorghum very popular method in the southern region. So in the same sorghum, you can grow vegetables, very good vegetables, cucumber, snake gold, brinjal, spinach. Also fruits, some fruits can be grown in the dike, and also you can grow in the canal, duck rearing, and also fish in the canal. So in the sorghum system, we can grow all vegetables, fruits, even duck and aquaculture system, aquaculture, fish culture in the sorghum system. Chorland, we have huge chorland in our country. So the characteristic of chorland is coarse texture, the sandy soil, low organic matter, low soil moisture. So normally there is no grow crop, but with certain management system, we can successfully grow crop by even bumper crop from the soilland with some technology, a specific climate smart technology you can grow, and you can see the field condition of this very sandy soil. This is also chorland. We can okra millet intercropping system and Jamalpur chorland. We can get higher yield and the higher gross margin from this mixed cropping system. Performance early vegetable production in the chorland and red and bottle gourd cabbage can be grown successfully. System improvement of cropping, the southern short duration mustard variety in Cholonbel area. So Cholonbel area, only one boro crop is cultivated there, but we have in Bari, we have Bari Sorisha 14. This is a mustard variety, short duration variety, very short duration, 80 days. So we can also plant this mustard before boro season, and we can harvest boro rice as well without sacrificing the yield of boro rice. We can grow mustard about 2 tons of by mustard from the same land of field, and in this way we can increase the cropping intensity. Product under carbon sequestration through residue management in potato, maize, tea, almond cropping pattern. Here we also increase the productivity and also enhance the carbon sequestration. This is the ultimate goal of climate mitigation. Intercropping bush bean with sorghum. This is a good technology, and we can also increase the crop yield, higher crop yield, also the economic benefit from this pattern. And now the adoption of some CSA technology. What is the adoption? And here you can see this is a high, medium, and low adoption rate, and this scale is 0 to 10. This is added from a World Bank report. So in case of rice, almond rice, use of short duration and high yielding variety, this is very popular, and this adoption rate is high, but we have to work more to cover up to 10. And in case of submerged resistant high yielding varieties, where is deep water rice, this is also medium adoption rate, and we have scope to work more. And solar power irrigation system, this is low adoption rate because this is a new technology to Bangladesh, and the farmers want to use the solar pump, but there is this technology new, and farmer not aware of all the about the solar pump, use of solar pump. And the government of Bangladesh has trying to install 45,000 of solar pump within 2030. So I think this pump use of solar pump will be increased, and saline resistant variety, the adoption rate is high, and proper use of fertilizer, direct seeding rice adoption is the road, but it is mainly used in some pocket area again, like Rajshahi area. Other crop like spices, salinated dot resistant variety, this medium adoption, use of short duration high yielding varieties, this low adoption, and use of salinity resistant variety. This is oilseed, this is a low adoption, but there is a scope to work more to adopt these technologies, sorghum cultivation, and floating bed, also growing crop vegetables on the dike, and this is medium adoption. So there is a scope of work here. Maize conservation agriculture, this is low adoption, but there is a scope to work. Intercropping with the short duration vegetables, yes, this is low adoption rate. Composted biogas, commercial livestock fattening, fodder, this is increasing day by day, and the scale is more than 3, but there is a scope to work. Rice fish culture also increasing around aquaculture. This is medium adoption. Cultivation of small indigenous fish species, this is also increasing, but we have to scope to work more. Now, barrier of adoption of CSA technology, lack of awareness of knowledge. This is lack of people have, most of the people, even policymaker and even some scientists, they have no idea about this. What is CSA technology? So lack of awareness and knowledge, lack of farmers training, because even when we want to transfer technology to the farmers, they need training, intensive training, because the CSA technology is quite a little bit different from the other technology. Lack of appropriate research findings. So we have no concrete specific database research findings. Lack of knowledge about CSA of farmers, lack of location-specific CSA technology, because Bangladesh is a small country, but there is different locations, environment sense from one location to one location, and also the socio-economic condition of the farmers. So we have to develop location-specific technology for farmer, absence of long-term and continuing research. This is very important when we work on a certain area under a project, then this works well. But when the project fund is withdrawn, then it is come with the project personnel. But this is the problem, so we need to continue research up to the adoption. Lack of appropriate policy and network towards the CSA, natural disaster, with serious crop loss. This is a problem. Outbreak of pandemic disease one by one. And fragmented and unrelated land for operation of CSA machines. This is a problem. We have our land is very small, unrelated, no road access to the crop field, and barricaded by canals, transportation of heavy machines to buy grain crops. This is mainly for the southern region. There are a lot of canals, and there is no facility to transport machine from one place to another. Low purchasing capacity of the farmers, especially in the climate affected area. Lack of proper training for operation of the machine, unability to spare parts in the remote area, lack of knowledge and awareness, mindset of and passion of the adoption of CSA technology. And this is very important. We have to set our mind, we have to adopt this technology for our subsistence. So we have no mindset, and we have need long passion for adoption of technology and get benefit from the technology. Here is a figure, just I am showing here. This farmer is carrying as cauliflower with his own shoulder, but with barren feet. There is no road to transport huge amount of vegetables, or there is no road to transport machinery, especially harvesting machinery, transplanting machinery, and there is no road to access in the village as a field. So I am presenting this slide. Now I am at the end of the presentation. Way forward for adoption of CSA technology. And now location and crop specific CSA technology need to be invented through adaptive research. We have technology in our, lot of technology in our research station, but need adaptive research and through our on-farm research division or other division, they can work with the farmers. Advanced digital CSA need to be developed. Now that the time of digital age we are now. So in case of agriculture, we are lacking behind in digital technology. So we have to develop a digital technology. Incentives are continued for certain period until the technology are properly scaled up. So you have to provide resource up to the scaled up or to properly adapt to the technology, not for a 1 year or 2 or for a certain year's time. Women and youth farmers should be emphasized to adopt CSA technology. So proper guidelines and collaboration effort are essential to synchronize activities. That is research, planning, policy making, knowledge sharing. This should be collaboration and guidelines should be emphasized. Use of renewable energy in agriculture. Dissemination, training, financing, monitoring, evaluation of CSA technology. Network among the different stakeholders to be strengthened so that they can collaborate with each other for better management of CSA technology. So we have to make network, and the crop scientist, extension personnel, livestock, initiative. I'd like to acknowledge Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute. That is all crop center and divisions of Bari who have shared their slides. And also NARS, National Agriculture Research System, and IFPRI, SAARC Agriculture Centre, IFAD, and all the participants. I acknowledge them for a patient hearing. Thank you very much for a patient. And I think if you have any question, you can put in the chat box, then we can respond. And my colleague, they can also respond. Thank you very much for a patient.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayub, for your insightful presentations. And our participants have already observed the presentation you have made, and you have shared some of the promising CSA technology practiced in Bangladesh. And also you have described some of the potential CSA technologies locality based and with their benefits also. So the floor is now open. We invite questions on what you have heard from the from Dr. Ayub's presentations, and also you share your views on the CSA technologies in Bangladesh to enrich our discussion and learn from each other's experiences and ideas. I have already received some, from chat box, we have received some questions. Mostly actually the barrier of the technologies, as well as how much the coverage of these technologies. So maybe if I request Dr. Ayub or other scientists, Bangladesh scientists, for taking account the question that is from Mamta asked. My question is, how many of these CSA technologies have been scaled up? If so, what were the constraints in scaling up? If not scaling up, what were the reasons? This question is asked by Mamta, and also she has another question: what are the reasons of low adoption of some of these CSA technologies? So Dr. Ayub or your team can.
Thank you very much for your nice questions. So I informed in my slide presentation there are a lot of barriers regarding the adoption of CSA technology. Although some technology are adapted, well adapted in some locations of Bangladesh, but there are some barrier for adoption. Number one, the lack of awareness of the technology. Lack of awareness, that the farmers do not, this technology, some of the technology are traditionally practiced by the farmers, but with the scientists, we are adding some flavor of this technology, like high-yielding varieties, and also the intercultural operation technique, that is technology, modern technology, to get more benefit from the technology. So people are, most of the farmers, they do not know what are the variety, which are the short duration variety, and which is the waterlogging varieties. They know only the available variety, but they don't know what is the saline tolerant varieties of certain crop. What are the submerged tolerant variety? So this type of awareness, lacking of this awareness, and also training of the farmers to provide this is the one of the barrier that they can, if proper training is provided how to use this technology for successful crop production. This may be, and also the linkage, because there a linkage should be strengthened among the researcher, farmers, and DA personnel. So all of them should aware and also have good knowledge about the CSA technology. CSA technology is a little bit different from the normal technology. For example, the variety, it gives good yield in the normal condition, but in the saline condition, it gives a little bit lower yield. But the farmers always want, their demand is higher yield. They don't want to sacrifice the little yield. So this should be addressed to the farmers. So therefore, this barrier to be practiced. And there are some technology adapted in this area, like surgeon technology, floating agriculture, even some machines are machinery, they are adapting well. I know they are about 10,000 CA machinery in the farmer fields, they are working well. So some area they are in Rajshahi area, they are practicing this area. I think I forget. Okay or not, this is about my.
Dr. Ayub,
uh,
actually a similar type of question asked by some other participants, especially Munshi Sulaiman. He also asked, as you already reply the earlier questions, and one question by Tek Thapa. He wanted to know actually what policy would you recommend for the promotion of CSA technology? As you mentioned that lack of policy is one of the barrier or one of the constraint of the policy that is policy adaptations. So is there any policy you mention for the CSO technology dissemination? Dr. Ayub, or if Mazhar can also.
Sorry, I am not hearing. I am not hearing.
Dr. Hussain, can you hear us?
And now I am hearing, but earlier I am not hearing. Heard
Okay.
what Dr. Bhatia said, because there was some net problem, I think.
Okay. So there is a question by Mr. Tek Thapa. He says that you mentioned lack of policy. So he's asking, what policy would you recommend for the promotion of CSA technology? That was Dr. Bhatia.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think there are some policies regarding climate change in our country. We have water policy, soil regarding soil policy, but there is no specific CSA technology because we have another policy, agriculture, national agriculture policy, national mechanization policy. Under this policy, government of Bangladesh has taken so many measures for the farmers. For example, I am giving an example. The government is providing subsidy for purchasing some machinery with 50 to 70% subsidy. And government is providing loan through a bank with very low interest, 4%, sometimes 6% interest for certain crops like spices crop or certain crops. But there is no specific policy regarding the CSA technology. Government can provide support to the farmers. Like if a farmer adopts CSA technology, he will give low interest loan or like that. And there should be a body among the scientists, external people, or policymaker, a body, national body, they can advise the government to when there is a disaster policy, there is a disaster measurement of government. But in case of agriculture, when a disaster occurred, or then the body can advise the government what measures to be taken. Then the government can provide seed to the farmers with low cost or free of cost. They can purchase the seedlings, provide low interest rate, like this. This type of policy should be adopted or taken. And also the low carbon emission policy. There is a national policy for the CSA technology. If a farmer can reduce the emission, they can get credit. This is a national, international policy, but for Bangladesh specific is for CSA technology. This type of technology policy may be undertaken by the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ayub. There are similar type of questions as Bharada Raj and also anonymous attendee question like this. Location specific CSA technologies are helpful. This will vary based on different agroclimatic zones. So how to gear up the adoption of CSA technologies to get more benefits? I think you have already discussed the.
Yes, thank you very much. I think location space technology, I can example. The technology in the southern regions, this is a climate vulnerable area. So this salinity is a problem there. Mainly salinity is a problem, water scarcity, but in the whole area, there's a lot of water, standing water. The different type of technology required. So for adoption of this technology, the location specific knowledge, location specific technology and location specific knowledge training and as a support should be provided to the farmers so they can adopt this technology easily. Thank you.
Dr. Ayub, we have one more question from Kirti Bardhan Gupta. He mentioned that most often the small and medium, that is subsistence farmers, are more concerned about the short term, that is annually profit, rather than looking for a long-term perspective of or climate perspective. However, large farmers are expected to be more concerned about adopting such technologies from long-term perspective due to the better economic status. Is there variation in such technology adoption across large and small farmers in Bangladesh?
Well, I think most of the farmers in Bangladesh is small to medium farmer. So I think first the technology should be which technology we develop from our research. This technology should be suited well to the small farmer. I have given an example, a solar pump, a small solar pump. A household can afford this pump with a lower cost, but there are larger solar pump costing very higher price. So their life is very high and the benefit, the longer time they will get benefit, but for a small pump, they can get benefit from this year, not forward for a long time because their investment is low and their benefit comes shortly. And the small farmer can, to get shorter time the benefit, the technology that the high value crop they can grow in their field, so they can get benefit, more benefit from short time, short duration variety, so they can grow. Climate is smart, short duration variety, high yielding variety, so they can get benefit more than the large farmers. And another things, in the climate change policy, the government can provide support, financial support, or from any microcredit provider, NGO, they can provide a small fund for with lower risk for the small farmer. So they can easily cope with the climate change effect very sharply or very with a short period of time. I think, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayub. We have also clearly answered all the questions raised by our distinguished participants. And Dr. Mamta, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Dr. Hossain, for that wonderful presentation. I myself was a very learning experience for us when we are working on the CSA technologies, and Bangladesh always shows the way. So we are really looking forward to that. Thank you, Dr. Bakhtiar, for moderating the session, for your constant support. Thank you, King Zan, and SAARC is always there for us. And this is the online forum that will continue. I think the next one you'll hear soon, which will be sometime in mid-January. So thank you so much to everybody. Thank you so much to the attendees. I think there were some wonderful questions that were posed. And this has started a really good discussion on CSA, which is kind of lacking in the region. So thank you so much. Over to you, Anisha. I think you wanted to say something, and there are two participants who have raised their hands. So maybe.
No, exactly. I was just going to say that
Okay.
Dr. M. Muhyiddin, he has raised his hand, so I'm allowing him to talk. Dr.
Okay.
Muhyiddin, if you're still there, please unmute yourself. Yeah, you can talk.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Ayubhushan sir, for a nice presentation. I want to ask him to know about CSA technology for suitable for our area.
Dr. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhyiddin. I know Dr. Muhyiddin is working in the Howrah area for a long time. So he knows the technology of our areas. I think he knows after just depletion of the standing water from the Howrah area, we can grow short duration mustard there. We can grow pumpkin. So he is doing such type of technology, and we can also use very handy machinery that can be transported easily from one place to another in this our area. SaaS and SaaS technology available. So thank you, Muhyiddin, for raising this question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, Anisha. So I would like. Is there any
No,
anyone to say anything?
no, I think
If not, so in that case, I can just concluding with a few words like. So finally, I'd like to extend my thanks and gratitude to Dr. Mohammad Ayub Hussain for his excellent presentation, as well as the question he received, as well as answered very nicely with his long experience and working in the different areas of Bangladesh. Actually, there should be a strong linkage between researcher, extension, farmers to really understand CSA technologies and effectively implement them in the field. Without these strong interactions and collaborations among them, many of the issues and challenges will not be resolved and adversely affect the implementation and upskilling of the technologies. We really need to identify constraints in scaling up CSA technologies and strategize to overcome these constraints through support from the project as well as from the national government. As this is our first type of that is discussion we start with Bangladesh, and we'll actually shortly we'll also go for other countries to share their experiences and as well as their CSA technologies, and also in that case we can also share which the best practice are they are following, as well as and other neighboring countries, South Asian countries could take their examples to implement their technologies. If there is no issues, and so we can conclude today's webinar, and I would like to I would like to say you have a happy time, for a good day. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. So we'll be uploading the video of this webinar on our YouTube channel for IFPRI-South Asia, and we'll be sending you everyone the link soon. So thank you everyone for joining. We plan to have the next one maybe in January. So see you soon. Have a good year.
Thank you
Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.